Alright, so hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll build a weather app using HTML, CSS and vanilla JavaScript. Well, our video is going to be divided into two parts. So we'll cover HTML and CSS part today, and we'll make our weather app functional in second part using JavaScript. So initially you can see a welcome page here, and if you click on get started button, then you are redirected to the weather dashboard where you can see the data of New York City. If you type random city name, for example Pune, and press enter or click on this search, then you can see the data of Pune appeared. Type another city name, for example Beijing, and press enter, then the data of Beijing appeared. Alongside, the bottom section data is also changing, and if you don't type anything and press enter, then it will say provide a valid city name. So we are going to add this validation as well. And let me remind you that we are using Open Weather API to fetch the data, and these images, the cloud images, sun image, we are using our local images. We are not fetching any images data from Open Weather API. Alright, so let's move into the coding part. Alright, so I'm in my code editor right now, and here you can see some few files. First one is welcome.html, which is our welcome page. Second one is weather.html, and third one is our weather.css, where I have declared some few global CSS which I will be using, and you may also write this on your own, but since I use them in a lot of my projects, that's why I wrote them. So first let's design welcome.html. Okay, so let's split the screen so that you can see what's going on, and let's open our project with the live server. Okay, so it is loaded. To check, type something random. It's perfectly loading, perfectly working as well. Okay, so let's create first div with a class name of wrapper, and inside here let's create a container. Okay, now I'm going to write something here, dot wrapper. Its height is going to be 100 vh, and width will be 100 vw. It will have a background color of blue color, which will be this main background color, as you can see. And here let's keep display flex so that everything will come into the center. Justify content center, and align items also center. Okay, and in the container we'll give its height to container height, and the width is going to be container width. All right, let's see. Okay, we haven't given any background color. Let's give a background color of white. Okay, as you can see, it appears in the center of the screen. Let's give a border radius as well, border radius. Okay, it's looking like this. Now here, there in the container there will be two sections. So let's say our first section is going to be image container, which will have a image. This image is going to be umbrella logo, and it will have a class name of welcome dash image. We don't need this alt. And our another section is going to be let's say welcome dash section. Okay, in the welcome section there will be few things. First one is going to be our image, and the image is going to be random. Let's say this cloudy weather. Okay, it's looking like this. We will fix this first. Let's change the height to minimum height, so that I think not here, not in the container, in the wrapper. Now it is looking fine. Let's do important. Okay, because of our image size it is overflowing. We'll eventually fix this. Okay, let's give it a class name as well. Let's give it a class name of welcome dash image 2, and let's create another div for description, and let's create a button which will have a value of get started. Okay, now it is looking like this without CSS. We will apply CSS and it will look very much beautiful. All right, so let's give a display flex, and yeah, I think this is okay. There are two sections in this container. Wait, first let me do this. First section is this one, image dash container. Second section is this one. So in this both section, let's give some CSS. It will have height of 100% and the width is going to be 50%. The border radius is going to be, all right, let's see what it looks like. So it looks like this, and let's give the display to flex. Justify content will be center, and align items will, align item will also be center. It appears on the center of the screen. Now let's do something more. In the welcome dash section, if we do flex direction column, then everything comes into a column. Now let's style the images as well, because they are appearing to be very large. Welcome dash image, its height is going to be almost 22 rem. Yep, looking good. And also the image container will have a background color of image background color. So it's looking like this. In the container, let's give a padding of 2 rem. Now it's looking like this. Let's rotate this image as well. So now it's looking like this. Now let's change this image size also. Okay, now it's looking like this. Let's change this image because it is merging with the white color. Yep, broken clouds look good. And here let's do something, and let's give CSS to description as well. Okay, it's looking really good. Now let's style the button. Okay, the button is also looking good. Let's give a cursor of pointer and margin top of 2.5 rem. Now it's looking just fine as we expected. Now when user clicks on this button, we want to redirect user to this weather HTML page. Okay, first let's open anchor tag, and let's wrap our button in this anchor tag, so that when user clicks here, wait, first let's specify the path weather.html. When user clicks here, it redirects to weather.html. Let's copy all of this, come here and paste, and everything is going to be changed except for this. Okay, now if I come here, then it will be blank. Now let's style the weather.html as well. This is going to be our main dashboard page. Okay, so in the container there will be 3 sections. First one is no, actually there will be 3 columns. Let's say that first one is going to be the user logo. Let's say user dash logo. Here let's specify the image tag, and inside of image user profile, the class is going to be user profile dash image, right? Okay, it is appearing like that. And second one is going to be middle section. Okay, and the third one is going to be dot search button. Let's say, sorry, I think it will be better if we write like this. Okay, it is appearing to be very small because we gave the same property as this one. So let's change something here, the height and width. Now the search button CSS is going to be, it will have a height of 3.5 rem and a width of almost 7 rem. Now let's see what it looks like. Click here. Okay, so it looks like this, right? Now let's give it a border radius, and let's give an important tag as well. Okay, it's working just fine. I think everything is working now. Only thing is to do this. All right, it's working just fine. Now let's add another thing. Let's style this. It will have a height of 100%, but its parent, which is user dash logo, it will have a height of just, let's say, just 5 rem, width of 5 rem, and overflow will be hidden. The background color is going to be image background color, so it looks like this, right? Now let's give it a border radius of 50%. Yeah, it's looking fine. Let's also give a cursor of pointer. All right, now let's wrap this into first section. Let's wrap our logo into user logo into first section, and let's wrap this button into last section. Or this is one column, this is another column, this is another column. All right, it looks like this. Type something here. For example, in the middle section there will be input search. Okay, it will have a class name of search. All right, let's see, it is looking like this, right? Now let's give it a class name of search bar, and the middle section first dash section will have a width of let's say only 10 rem. Let's give it a background color so that we can see what is going on inside there. So it is this, and let's give the middle section also a background color of red. If you ever get confused on what is going on, then you can just give the background color to the parent component and the child component and see how each of them are being aligned. Okay, let's give it a color of Bollywood. Okay, so this is first column, second column, and third column. Let's give this and this a bad display of flex, and the background, I think we should give justify content start, align items will be center. So it is looking like this, which we don't want. So let's give justify content to center and align items to start. Okay, it is like aligning on the top, right? And also one thing is that let's not give any margin top to the button. Okay, so it's looking like this, and it's looking really great. Now we can just do this. So this is our first, second, and third section, right? Now let's split them and increase the width of middle section. The middle section will have a width of almost, let's say, 40 rem. It will be a little more, 44 rem, 45 rem. Let's say what this looks like. The align items, I think justify content will also be start, no, end. All right, now everything looks good. Now let's style the middle section. To style the middle section, first I'm going to let the background color be in here. Okay, it's looking like this, and if I do this, then it will have this, right? So its width is going to be auto. Now let's increase the width of the middle section to 54 rem. Okay, it's looking great. Now let's give a padding right is going to be 1 rem, and padding left is also going to be 1 rem. Okay, now let's style the search bar. The search bar will have a height of 3 rem, a width of 100%, let's say, and it will have a background color of gray. We'll minimize this to here, and it will have a font size of 1 rem. Also let's give border to none, and outline will also be none. Let's see what it looks like. So it looks like this. We haven't given any placeholder. Let's give a placeholder of enter your city dot dot dot. Let's comment out the okay. Yeah, it's looking great, but the profile, it has a very large height and width, so it's looking great now. Okay, let's give a border radius and also what we need to do is that padding top bottom 0 and left and right will be 1 rem. Okay, so it's looking great, but we need to cancel this is appearing, this cross icon is appearing, so let's remove that. Let's give display to none, so it has gone. Now let's make it more whiter. Okay, the upper section is looking really great. Now time for middle section. This is the first section of the middle section, and middle section will also have 3 sections. Dot middle dash second section, and inside of here we'll also have 2 sections, which is the right left, yep, left section, and it will have a h1 tag of Beijing. Let's give a paragraph tag of description is going to be cloudy weather, and also let's give the temperature. Span dot temperature is going to be -2 degree. Okay, so it is looking like this, and another div is going to be the image. Have this sunny weather image. Okay, let's remove this alt, we don't need this. All right, so it is looking like this. Now let's give the flex to this middle section as well, right? Dot middle section will have a display of flex. Okay, so everything is in the one line, one row. Let's give a class to weather dash image as well, so it will have a height of only 15 rem. Okay, in the 15 rem is looking really great. Let's give 16 rem as well. Yep. Now let's give align items center. Everything is coming in the center, and justify content will be space between. Okay, so it is looking really great. Now let's style the text over here, right? For doing that, let's come here and target each element of left section. Dot left section, h1 will have a font size of almost 2.3 rem. Yep, 2.5 rem will be great. Yes, and font size let's keep to 3.4 rem, and font weight is also going to be very large. It's almost 700. Okay, 2 degrees Celsius. Yep, looking great. And let's keep the font size to 3.3 rem. I think this is going to be much better. Yep, it's looking really great, right? All right, now we finally have to design the last section only, but before designing that we need to do some refinement here. That is going to be, it is going to be 3 rem. I think this looks more better, and making it 2.5 rem, it will be much better. Let's give a font weight of only 500. Okay, looking great. Let's give a margin top of 1 rem. I think this looks pretty good, but okay, so margin is not being applied. I think what we need to do is we need to give a important tag. No, it is not being applied. Okay, let's give a display flex to this, and the flex direction is going to be column. And okay, now let's wrap these inside this div and call it a class name of data. Let's say data, and here we need to change this to data. Yep, and let's give it a gap of 2 rem. Okay, Yep, I think this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good, right? And let's give the gap of only 1.5 rem. All right, let's increase the size of image. It will be 17 rem. Now it is looking perfectly good. Now last part is going to be our bottom section. Let's design the bottom section as well. Okay, so this is top section of middle section, middle section, second section, and finally it's going to be middle dash bottom dash section. So you might be confused on what am I doing, but I am just dividing everything into different sections and styling them. It will firstly have a span of let's say title, and the title is going to be air conditions, and it will have another div, and its class is going to be final section, let's say air condition data, and it will have 3 columns. So first column is going to be dot column 1, and inside column 1 there are going to be 3 things. There are going to be 2 things. First one is that div dot data bottom. Let's give any random class name, div dot data dash main. Okay, and it will have a span tag of real fill, and another is going to be dot actual data. Okay, I know I'm giving a very class name very random, but it doesn't matter, right? Currently it will have 2 sections. Second is going to be chances rain. It's going to be column 2, and it will have a class name of column. And finally last one is going to be our column 3. All right, this is going to be our column 3, and let's change the data and let's style that. Wind will be almost 1.13 meter per second, let's say, and wind degree is going to be 2 degree. The humidity, all right, so these are all the data. Now let's style the final section as well, right? So the final section, first let's go to the top and let's see the final middle dash bottom dash section. It will have a height of almost, let's say, 20 rem, and let's say background color will be white, a little darker than white. Oh sorry. Okay, it is overflowing, right? So we need to decrease the height. Okay, 18 is good. Let's give it a border radius of, let's also give a padding top. From top it will be almost 1.5 rem, right 1 rem, bottom also 1 rem, and from left it's going to be 1.5 rem. Okay, I think it looks like this, right? So we need to do something to the upper section because our content is overflowing, which is not good. So to fix this, we need to go to the top here, and what we need to do is that we need to decrease the size of weather image. So our weather image somewhere here, height is going to be 15 rem. All right, now it looks just fine. Let's do 16, and let's give the height to 19 rem. I think it looks just fine. It looks perfect. Okay, let's give it a display of flex, and flex direction is going to be column, and in our air condition data, there are 3 columns like I told you. So let's do display flex. Okay, but before that let's style the title as well. Title will have a color of grayish color, right? It will have a font size of almost 0.9 rem. I think this looks good. And the data dash main span will have a color of gray. Okay, so everything is looking great. Now we need to do something here, that is we need to specify the column width. So for doing that, let's go to here, but first let's do background color red to see if every column is great. It will have a height of 10 rem. I think it is a lot, but that's okay. Margin of 1 rem. Okay, so it is being divided into 3 sections, right? All right, so let's go to here and let's increase the size of the data first. Dot actual data will have a font size. It will have a font size of almost 2 rem. Yes, and sorry, 2 rem is a little more, 1.7 rem, and it will have a font weight 600. Okay, it is looking great. The data, all data are looking great. Now in the column, let's do display of flex direction column, and a gap is going to be 1 rem. Okay, the gap is going to be 2 rem. Sorry, I think data is looking great here, like this. Let's also do justify content start and our line items center. Nah, it's not looking great. Justify content center is better. Yep, it's better. Let's give it a font. Let's give the font weight to the title. It's going to be 600. The font weight of this is going to be 600. And finally we are going to do flex to this. It will have a display flex and justify content. No, not justify content. It will have a gap of almost 2 rem. Now it's looking pretty good, right? It's looking pretty good. Let's specify the gap to 6 rem. Okay, now everything is done. We have finally designed all the parts of the weather app, and in next video we are going to be covering about how to make it functional, how to make this search bar functional and show the data accordingly. So thank you for watching.